So this is my first fairy journal that I created in 2016. And this is an entry from 28th of August 2016, when my children and I went to Henbury Woods, which is in Devon. Henbury Woods is beautiful old woodland that is built on a hillside, and at the top of the hill is an ancient Iron Age hill fort. It's near Buckfast in Devon, and it's said to be haunted by Roman soldiers and various people who frequented the Iron Age hill fort. It's also a really powerful place for encountering fairies, as we found this day. So I'm going to read this to you. I know this is quite a long video, but there's lots of it in. So I'll start with the Henbury, Henbury, Henbury Woods, said the little voice in my head. So I often hear fairies calling me to places. That's part of fairy whispering. It's about tuning into those, like I said yesterday, there's lots of things talking to us in nature. Everything is talking, and we have to learn to tune in. So part of fairy whispering is tuning into those voices. Okay, I will go to Henbury Woods, I replied. Ava and Ethan, those are my children, and I have never been here, and I was surprised how close it was and how easy it was to find. I felt we were entering a special place. Ethan and I said, "Wow," or words to that effect, when we entered the woods. He felt welcome, and we all did. We all felt a welcoming atmosphere in the woods. I took lots of photos as we walked. At one point, I looked up through the trees and queried, "Who's there?" Ethan and I looked up, intrigued. It looked like two little figures standing, holding spears or staffs with lights beside them. So we literally saw these two little shadowy figures. And it's like they were holding lanterns in one hand and a staff or a spear in the other. So it's like they were little guardians of the place. Couldn't see their faces, we just saw the shapes and the lights. So it looked like they were holding lamps. Ethan said it felt very magical. I can't read my writing. It just felt very powerful and magical. It looked like one of them had a tummy, this is what Ethan said, that was glowing red, because we saw different lights. Whereas the lamps, we saw different other coloured lights. They were like little guardians. The bank was too steep to climb, so we walked on. As I looked down to my left, I saw a little gnome-type figure standing, protecting the leafy dell below by the path. So I've got a photo of this actually. It's actually a little tree stump, but it's shaped the way we saw it. And this is what fairies do, because they blend into the environment. They don't have any physical bodies like we do, so that they can meld with the environment. And a way of seeing them is in the shapes that trees make, the tree stumps and the bark. And that's a way that they can influence the environment for us to be able to see them. So this little stump was really stood out because it's right in the middle of this beautiful leafy dell, and it looked like a little gnome figure standing there. And I felt he was holding the energy of that dell. For some reason that was very important area of the woodland. The path swooped around, and as we walked, I could hear cracks of sticks in the woods, and there was no one there. We couldn't see anybody else around us, but we could hear something or someone walking through the sticks near us, like somebody was walking alongside us, keeping an eye on us. I took more photos. The path swooped around at the foot of the hill. I looked to my right and could see that a little Yoda-like wooded gnome figure was waving at us. So again, a little tree stump, but really, to us, transformed magically into this little figure that was waving at us. So it was a friendly vibe, even though they were keeping an eye on us. It was a friendly, welcoming vibe, because they knew fairies will scam people for their intention, and if they feel that you have good intention, you're happy to connect with them, you're respectful of nature, then they will happily welcome you to their realm, and they will show themselves. Especially being with children, because they love children's energy. Children are very, very high frequency of energy, vibration, and they're very open to fairies. And you know, they haven't got so many filters to see through. So fairies love that. They love playing with children, and they become very playful when children are around. We walked down to the riverbank and saw a log like a dragon's head. I posted the photos on Facebook in a fairy group that I belong to, and somebody immediately spotted many fairy faces. And somebody pointed out to me that at the very beginning of the walk, when we began the walk on the path into the woods, and we felt this feeling of welcome, there was literally this little shadowy, I can only describe it as a little Ewok type figure that was under a fern leaf, and it was just stepping out, and it's holding a staff, and you could even see its little eyes. It had very white glowing eyes, and it was standing in welcome. But it was obviously one of the guardians of Pembrey Woods, and very ancient. These are very ancient fairies. And as I said, it was quite dark and shadowy, but its overall shape was very bear-like. So, you know, the sort of fairies that I've experienced aren't the, what typical sort of Tinkerbell type fairy. They are beings of all shapes and forms, and they can look quite animalistic, some of them, and this one looked quite bear-like. Okay. On the way back up the hill to the car park, Ethan decided to climb the bank to investigate the two guardian figures we had first seen on our way into the wood. It turned out that on closer inspection, they were made up of branches and foliage that formed two double interlinking archways, fairy gateways. So these two little figures had been standing in front of two bent over branches that had formed, and foliage that had formed these gateways. So when I notice bent over branches now in nature, I think, oh, that could be a fairy gateway. So look at those, and also crossed trees, and trees cross and create a gateway, an archway between them as well. That's something else to look out for. So they could have been, so I noted here, maybe they were fairy gatekeepers, which is what we sort of felt, that they were guardians of that place. So I really recommend that you visit the woodlands, especially ancient woodlands, and keep your eyes open because fairies will show themselves as lights, like we experienced, or shadows. They manipulate light, so we play with light from the sun, light falling through leaves, glints on water, glints. You know, if you see any little sparkly lights out the corner of your eye, that could be the fairies. And we also play with shadow as well. A lot of photos I've taken, I've seen really shadowy because, and I did do a drawing of the little